What can we really do to affect change? Depends what kind of change you want. What kind of change you want? You want change for your own life? You know, do you want change for the greater of mankind? It's no different than this. If I give out good, you're going to be affected by that good. If I come up to you and I give you a smile, hey man, how you doing? You're most likely like, oh, I'm doing good. I've already affected you. If I come up to you like, man, and I got an attitude, or I'm eyeing you up, I'm already giving you a negative vibe. I'm already infiltrating and creating something negative, something darker. Just be positive. Find the positive. You don't know how long you're living. You know, every day's a blessing. That's what people don't understand. It's the whole, like, it's like, when you understand that we are on borrowed time, I think death really shapes people. Like, when death hits you, it makes you realize everything you thought life was supposed to be isn't. And when it affects you, it earthquakes your world. And some people go in the dark. They get resentful. They get mad. They feel guilty. They walk away from God. Others realize a blessing. You know, I've said this before. There's a silver lining in everything. No matter how dark, there's always a silver lining. And I'll tell this story real quick. 2015, okay, 2015. My wife, it's her second round of cancer. So 2012, she's diagnosed with breast cancer. We remove the breast, take out her hysterectomy, everything comes out. She didn't want to do chemo and stuff like that. She's anti all that stuff. 2014, it comes back in her lymph nodes. And it wasn't so, what was worse than the cancer coming back was they told her you have to do chemo, and that killed her more than anything. Now, two things. At that time, you know, we got three little girls. I had three little girls, right? So trying to be hey, everything's gonna be all right. And I do my best to be cheerful and all that good jazz. And I literally would go to the chemo room, and there'd be like 8 people in there, and you knew who wasn't gonna make it. And I would I would make her laugh so hard. We would laugh so hard. I'd do stuff like this, like, oh God, if I knew this was gonna happen, I would have never married you. And you know, there'd be like a couple people like, oh my God. And there'd be like, so I guess I have to order out dinner again. God. Does this mean I'm doing laundry? So I gotta do everything? And I would do that over top, and people would laugh in the room, and it was a great way to get through it. And my wife would laugh, and she'd always be up. So one of the things I was getting at was, one of the best things that happened that year that really brought our family together and brought such a great energy and beauty and all that was 2015. So everyone's like, you got to get on social media and you got to start posting things. And I didn't know what to do. I'm still not good at it. Like, hey, I'm not good at being fake. So like, hey, here's me and my kids. So I'm watching the New York Mets opening day. And back then, diehard baseball. I watch baseball all the time. Crazy Mets fan. And the opening day was Max Scherzer against Bartolo Colon. Bartolo Colon on the Mets is about 350 pounds. Big guy, and this is their new star. The guy's like 42 years old. And the Nationals got Max Scherzer, best pitcher in baseball. The guy's lots out. And the opening day is Max Scherzer versus Bartolo Colon. My wife is back from chemo, and she's on the couch. She's like this. Right? She's like this. She's bald. She's got bumps in her skin, and she's got no energy. And she's watching me watch this Met game like a lunatic, because that's what I used to do. And so Max Scherzer has a no-hitter against the Mets. First game of the season, 2015. Bartolo Colon has like a 2-hitter. Bartolo Colon, however, they get to Max Scherzer, and the Mets take the lead, and the Mets beat Max Scherzer. So I'm sitting there like a lunatic. I'm like, what? Don't take Bartolo out! Why would you do it? And when they won, I'm like, big bad Max Scherzer. Oh, Bartolo Colon. And I'm going nuts. And my wife is in the corner giggling. She's like this. This is what you should do for social media. I said, what do you mean? She goes, don't act, be a fan, and start posting your reaction of the games. Be a fan, though. And I was like, oh, my God, that's a great idea. Well, who knew? I started posting. I posted that one. The Mets posted it. ESPN then got involved. Local radio got involved. And she goes, you got to do every game. I went, every game? There's 162 baseball games in a year. I'm not watching every game. So that year, I would go on tour, and I'd be on stage and let them know, like, hey, man, I'm really sorry, but I got to make a video in the middle of my set. And that's what I would do. And I would make a video. Talk about lightning in a bottle. The Mets went on to the World Series that year. I had people, and I lived out in the woods. I had people waiting for my videos to pop up. And I still get people going, why don't you do the videos anymore? And I appreciate that. But not only to bring our family together, and we all became part of it, and it was such a beautiful thing. It all came from her, and her getting her ass whooped by something terrible. And it brought us together, and then we went on a trip, and we started Airbnb where no one could look at her hair, and she wouldn't feel bad being bald. Cut to, this is what I'm talking about. You're either a blessing or you don't see the blessings. When something's going to be taken away from you, you either turn your back at God or you thank God. When my wife was told, this was 2 years later, after she went through the chemo and everything, they said, hey, the cancer spread everywhere and metastasized. And we were sitting with her, and I said, what does that mean? So, it means there's nothing we can do. And you want to talk about silence in a room. I've known her my whole life. Without her, I don't exist. And I remember the doctor going, I said, well, how long are we looking at? And the doctor goes, well, this is like February. Maybe by December? December. Yeah. Okay. And, well, what happens in the meantime? I said, well, we'll have drugs to help with the pain. And as a joke, I said, can I get some drugs too? and my wife howled with laughter. The doctor didn't like that. The doctor was like, what did you? And she's like, no, he's a comedian. We always laugh at life. And he still wasn't. So long story short, and she's fine now. She's fine now, okay? Still gets treatment once in a while. She's fine. But I'll never forget, and I want you to listen closely here. When I came home that day, I got to tell people. My wife's like, don't tell anyone. We got to talk to the kids. I went, I called my best friend. I said, Larry, they just told me that D ain't going to make it. And he says, bro, you're the biggest God guy I've known my whole life. Because you don't really talk about it a lot, but I know you're a God guy. I never knew anyone a deeper spirit than you. He goes, and your wife, she's all into Jesus. She doesn't deserve that. You don't deserve this. Doesn't this make you angry with God? And on my life, I swelled up and I said, no. It makes me thankful. Because what that moment did was make me realize how much of my life I didn't realize was a blessing right in front of my eyes. Every moment with my child's a blessing. Every moment with my wife is a blessing. Every moment with my best friend's a blessing. Every moment we get to breathe and try is a blessing. Which brings it back to, don't let the screen monsters take that away from you, because they don't want that in you. When you realize your life is a blessing and your life is more valuable than you can ever imagine. Your life, you are so powerful. And I can't stand when people say, I'm just a little guy. Don't you dare say that about yourself. Because it's you little guys that infiltrate me and you inspire me. I get your messages and then I turn around and I give it to the world. You just inspired the world. The little guy. There's no such thing as a little guy. There's no such thing as that. I'm just a nobody. Don't ever think you're a nobody. We're all powerful beings, and I truly believe that. And this world does everything they can to make you think the opposite of that. Don't let that infiltrate you and take it away from you.